Well, Africa's weak representation at the Olympics in tennis, owing to the strict qualifying criteria, was a major talking point when Kenya hosted the recent Billie Jean King Cup Continental Group 3 tournament here in Nairobi. Our reporter Mohamed Abubakar caught up with the Vice President of the Confederation of African Tennis, Wanjiru Karani, for an exclusive interview and began by asking her whether she thinks Africa gets an equal chance to qualify its talent at the Olympics.
Unfortunately, I do not. I think the rules to qualify for the African quota in for the Olympics is very difficult for African players to qualify, simply because they also have included a requirement that you must be top 400 in the world. Of course, I understand where ITF is coming from. They're trying to protect their level of play at the Olympics. But in doing so, they really discriminate against Africa, simply because Africa does not have enough tournaments. Therefore, you find we have very few players top 400.
We've learned that Tennis Kenya is pushing for Angela to be considered for a sport at the Olympic Games. Why do you feel she deserves to be considered?
I think for Angela, she's totally deserving because there is a continental slot qualifier. Angela is the current African champion who ideally would have had, she's qualified for the Olympic Games, but must meet this requirement for top 400. Now the Olympic Games, the African Games was postponed from August 2023 to March 2024. So in so doing, it has given her only 2 months, 8 weeks to be able to bring down her ranking. If this event had been held in 2023, it would have given her about 8 to 10 months to qualify to be top 400, and then it would have been possible. So our appeal to ITF is, please consider that the African Games was postponed. It was out of any of the players' hands, and therefore the deserving champion is Angela Okutoi, and therefore we believe she deserves that continental slot.
Let's talk about the Billie Jean King Cup Africa Group 3 tournament happening for second year running here in Kenya. How do you believe such a tournament contributes to the development of young talents in the continent?
This is, the Billie Jean King Cup is a World Cup of tennis. It doesn't get any bigger than this. So when Africa is given an opportunity to host, before last year, it was very difficult. I think maybe Africa had hosted it maybe twice in the last 30 years or something. But when it comes home, people at home can now see top level, like in Billie Jean King, women playing against each other. The psyche, the energy, the passion, the competition is always at another level because it's team to team as opposed to individual. You have Isikuti dancers, you have bands from the Nigerians. So it's always a very exciting time. And this encourages younger players to want to be in their teams, in their national teams, to be one of those where Kenyans can come and cheer them, and and they get to see this firsthand right on their courts. Yeah.